Hello, everyone. Welcome to Happy Life, Better Life. This is just a space for people who are in their 40s, 50s, or 30s and 60s who are starting over and charting out a new path in life. It could be after a divorce or separation, or could just be someone who is starting over, reinventing themselves. Someone who's following their bliss in search of love, in search of a fulfilling career, and things like that. So, this is just a space of positivity and encouragement. So, I want to welcome you here. So, I heard something recently that really just struck a chord with me. And I wanted to make sure that I was reaching out to um, our community, just bringing awareness. Um, I've been hearing that the new drug of choice is dating and mating. That there's a lot of dating and mating going on, even even for people who are in their 40s and 50s who are starting over looking for love. Sometimes you can be in search of something, and maybe you really want something real, and you get on these dating sites and dating apps, and you feel like you have a connection with someone, and maybe you end up becoming intimate and things of that nature, only to end up having things fizzle out. That's one thing about the dating world. It is it can be challenging to navigate through. And maybe you think you've been trying to do things wisely, but you've found yourself in a place where you feel like you've given too much of your time, your space, your energy, your conversation, maybe even your physical body to people who didn't deserve it. Dating and mating is becoming a drug. It's something that people do, and they do it so quickly and move on to the next person and the next person. But the thing is, when we're not healed from trauma in our relationships, it is very easy to become promiscuous. That might not have been our goal. That might not have been what we wanted to do. That might not have been what we were looking for. But sometimes when you are hungering for something and you are thirsting for something, you can find yourself in a place that you just never intended to be. Um, I would say if you have found yourself in that place, don't beat yourself up over it. Deal with it. Be honest with yourself about it. Face the truth of it. And then regroup. Pause. Put everything on pause. Stop. Get off the dating apps. Take a step back. Reevaluate things. And look at where you really are. Because sometimes, like I say, we can really be trying to find something genuine, but it takes time to find that. And it's not always easy. And sometimes you can be bamboozled. I mean, if we're going to be honest, sometimes that guy will say just the right thing, or that woman will say and do just the right thing. And you can end up, feeling like, hey, I thought I had a real connection here, only to find out that it wasn't really a connection at all. There's a lot of men and women out here who just want one thing. And I think it's because they're not really dealing with their own trauma. Some people know they're not ready to be in a relationship again, but they will say things and do things to kind of give the other person a sense of acceptance, to make them feel like it's comfortable for them. We're grown. We're both adults. We can do what we want to do. It's okay. That's BS. I call BS on that, okay? I'm just going to be honest. Yes, we're grown. This is true. Yes, we can do what we want to do. This is true. However, Your choices, and I learned this a long time ago, your choices will last beyond that moment. It will last beyond that moment. It can impact you way more than what you think it can. And those consequences can last way longer than you think they will. I probably said this in one of my other videos, and I don't know, because it's something I never get tired of saying, because I feel like we need to keep hearing it over and over. Don't make dumb choices. Dumb choices get you dumb prizes. And that can be whatever you think it is. Dumb choices will get you dumb prizes. So don't fall into this pattern that I'm seeing of people going from one person or relationship, because most of the time it's not even a relationship. It's really more like a pleasure contract or a situationship, because you're not really even getting what you want out of it. And you can find yourself going from one person to the next, to the next, to the next. I'm going to be honest. That's why, for me, I found dating online challenging, because you're looking at photos of people, you're reading profiles, you're doing this. But it's hard and challenging to even focus on one person, because you will have so many people matching with you, so many people reaching out, and you're trying to, at least for me anyway, I would try to be courteous to everyone who reached out, because in my mind, it takes a lot for a guy to approach a female and, say, hey, I want to talk to you. I'd like to get to know you. I like your profile. Or I thought you were attractive, or whatever the case may be. Even for females who do it and reach out, it's challenging to do that, because you kind of have to put yourself out there. You have to risk rejection. So I always try to be polite and kind to everyone. But I found it was difficult sometimes to focus, and I can see how people can end up talking to a bunch of different people. But the thing is, you will end up talking to a bunch of different people and nothing really goes anywhere. And if you're looking to make a genuine connection, that's just not always the best way to do it, to go about it. But when people have undealt with, unchecked trauma, they go from relationship to relationship, because they need that attention, because they're desperately like trying to pacify themselves. And I don't think we always think of it that way. And when I say pacify themselves, it's like a baby. They can have a need, a desire, or they can be in pain and they'll cry. They can be in discomfort and they'll cry. And so we'll get that little binky, put it in their mouth and just kind of rock them. We're pacifying them. We're soothing them. And some of us want that soothing. We want that healing. We want that comfort. But we're just going about it in the wrong way. So I just wanted to chime in on that, because maybe you find yourself in a situation where you've been looking for something, you've been wanting something real, and you put yourself out there, but you've been finding that your efforts have not been yielding the fruit that you really wanted, the peace that you really wanted, the connection that you really wanted. So I just want to tell you, just stop. Put everything on pause. Take a moment. Take some time to do some self-reflection. Look at areas that you may need to be healed in. Because going from person to person is like that song Jasmine Sullivan has. And she talks about, going out drinking and then waking up. She doesn't know who she's with, and how she's piling up bodies on bodies on bodies on bodies. That's not the life you want, honey. You're too precious for that. You're too valuable for that. So if you find yourself, if you look and if you see a pattern, Even if it's been two guys or whatever, you need to take a moment and stop and put everything on pause and reflect. And you got to take some time to see what's really going on inside of you. Because getting into these pleasure contracts and these situationships, you really don't need that. And I know that's not really what you want. So I'm here just to encourage you, just to give you a word or two, to say, even if you found yourself in a place and you look up and you don't know how you got there, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Take a moment, put it on pause, breathe. Start, like I say, maybe doing some journaling, some self reflection. Talk to some close friends who give good advice, because some people be like, oh no, you need to have your hot girl summer, or you're just out there. Um, I forget what they call it, having a whole phase. Yeah, that's ridiculousness. I'm just going to be honest. It's ridiculousness. And at this point in time, we don't have time to play Russian roulette like that, because you are really playing Russian roulette with your life. As women, we are incubators. So when we sleep with men and we have that type of physical intimacy, it's a giving and it's an exchange taking place. You are receiving, because as women, we're receivers. Our whole body is built to receive. That's why you can't receive from everyone. You can't receive from just anyone. So you can start feeling a little off and feeling unlike yourself, because why? You've had too many connections that weren't even healthy for you. So these are things that a lot of times we don't talk about as women, but it is a reality and it is something that needs to be addressed. And so I just kind of wanted to share a little bit about that. And please, if there's any things that you have, maybe you disagree, I'd love to hear your comments. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. And no matter what, today is a new day. You can always start over and begin again, because I want you to live a happy life and a better life. Have a great day. Bye-bye.